Okay, great. All right. So today we've got about 1 minute on my clock till we get started, and I am going to give an introduction here in a moment, but I want everybody to get familiar. If you're not familiar with Zoom, look at the bottom of your screen there, and it says Q&A. So that's where I would like you to put your questions about this program today. You can chat amongst yourselves in the chat box over there as well, but what I would like to see in the chat is I would like to know if you are a health coach and you're practicing with a successful business, or if you are not a health coach yet and you're just interested in maybe looking into this as a career. So tell me about yourselves in the chat. Obviously, I can see your name, but tell me if you're an active health coach, do you have a successful business? And you can also share what's missing. What has been missing from you getting your business up and going and preventing you from being successful in this profession? And so many of you have probably been following or seen some of the ads that we've run. You've probably seen me introduce myself over and over again, but my name is Carmen Hunter. I am the founder of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. More importantly, I am an active health coach and have almost a decade, this June, of experience in the health coaching profession. Not in selling to health coaches, actually being a health coach. I did not start mentoring, working on programs for health coaches or anything like that until 2014. So I have actively had a practice. I have had hundreds of clients. Not millions, like some people like to claim they have. I've had hundreds and hundreds of clients. I have had every condition presented to me known to man, every complaint, symptoms, problems, diagnosis, and goals. And I have discovered over time that there's a process to working with these people. It's not just as simple as handing out, a meal plan or giving somebody a detox to follow and hoping that they see results. It's not that easy. It's not as simple as meeting at a coffee shop and talking about how they're feeling. Health coaching is a lot more than that. And yeah, I see you guys chatting. Absolutely. Keep it coming, please. And any questions that come to your mind now or as we go through, put them in the Q&A. This is about getting your questions answered today. This is about meeting your needs. This is all about you. So, but let me finish explaining why I feel like I'm qualified to talk to you guys about health coaching. And maybe some people on here might even be students or members of my mentorship group already. So you know me well. And here's the thing. I'm a very forthcoming person. I am transparent. Any question you have about the difficulties of building the business, any questions you have about money, about clients, about burnout, about, the brain pickers, friends and family asking you for help, wondering if this is something you can actually do for a living, let me know. I've got your answers because I've been through all of it. Now, as we go along, I'm gonna be drinking water because when I talk this much, I do tend to get dry throat, and the weather is changing here too. It's getting warm out, which is nice. But the first thing I want to say is this: is that when I got into the health coaching space, it was I was a personal trainer. I had been on a journey of my own with my own health, with a thyroid problem that was undiagnosed for many, many, many years, and many, many doctors later, I finally got a diagnosis, and I thought, probably like many of you, oh my gosh, I have so much knowledge now about health and wellness. I could actually probably make a living doing this, but how do you do that? And so my search for figuring that out was simply going into Google. And again, this is 10 years ago, you guys. So I didn't go into Facebook looking for health coaching information because I didn't have a name for what I was trying to do with what I knew. So I went out and it was like helping people with health. I put that in Google. And then it was like, advising people on food, like every little search thing I could come up with, and nothing came up. And then finally, something came up about life coaching. So my first kind of introduction to this idea was, life coaching, I could do that. And I got a pathetic little certificate, which was funny because the certificate itself was worthless, but the test that they put me through to get that certificate was not easy. So I thought, well, surely this is a reliable, reputable company to get a certificate from. Little did I know that a certificate didn't really mean anything. What people were looking for as the years went on was whether I knew what I was doing. Was I qualified to help them get where they needed to be simply based on my knowledge and delivery? Was I relatable? I learned that certificate didn't mean anything. In fact, I don't even know what I did with it, to tell you the truth. It was that useless. I never had anybody ask me, where did you get your education? How do you know so much? What school did you go to? They said, tell me how you can possibly get me from where I am to where I need to be, because my doctor's given me X amount of time before they're going to put me on medication, or I have this amount of pounds to lose before I can go on this trip, or whatever it may be, or I've been at home for 10 years with Crohn's disease. Can you possibly help me? So let me just say that I'm coming from an angle of a health coach that has understood all of the pieces and all the questions you guys may have. But I always say this now, which is something I didn't know then, is that you can't just jump in and be a health coach. And I said many times over the years, gosh dang it, I just want to help people get well. Why is this so difficult? You know, and obstacle after obstacle. I learned, you know, well, I thought I'll just get a business license and then I'll make sure that I'm, you know, paying my taxes properly and then it'll all be good. That was not the truth. I even messed up on the business license. I got only one and I needed two. I was not declaring things on taxes that I should have been declaring or could have been declaring. I didn't understand anything about sales tax. Did I even need that with an online business or if I wasn't selling things? No idea about contracts. No clue about disclaimers, going to people's houses, what a risk or liability that was. I was using words like nutrition and, you know, this can help you prevent this. I'm not supposed to be using those. I didn't know that. So telling you all of this to let you know, this is coming from a place of experience and making a lot of mistakes, which I always fully admit to. All the mistakes that I've made in this business, I've rectified them and fixed them and come up with the legal and safe way to health coach. And so, I also want to put this out there and tell you that when you're going to these, looking into certifications and you're looking at schools and you're taking courses and classes and things like that, be really clear on who's teaching you. Make sure they have a history of health coaching behind them. And I want to say more than 2 or 3 years of health coaching before they're even thinking about teaching you because, and I've got a dog that might start barking here, but because it is the first 2 years of building this business that really sets the tone for where you're going to be in your success. And whether or not you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and whether or not you can go to bed at night and say, oh, I didn't say anything wrong, I can sleep well today. Or yes, I did everything I could to help that person and I had to refer them out to a psychologist or a doctor or an endocrinologist. Like to have the peace of mind to go to bed at night knowing that you've done everything that you can for your business in a legal and safe way for yourself and for your clients, that is absolutely a priceless thing. I'm telling you, because many sleepless nights I lay there wondering, how in the world did I even get into this? How do I continue to do this and not make mistakes or get myself in trouble? Okay. So the business building program came to you guys because over the years, since 2013 was when I really started mentoring health coaches, you know, I've had people say, well, I don't really need this, but I need this. Or how did you learn all of that? I don't need this. And so what we did was we took years of surveys and polling, lots of emails and messages and everybody saying how, you know, I've already taken care of this skill of coaching, but I don't even know how to put this into practice. Or people saying, someone got mad at me the other day because I wrote a meal plan. I'm not a nutritionist. How do I backpedal out of this? So we've heard it all. And so the business building program has been put together as a way for, number one, if you're an aspiring health coach and you probably heard this ad or me speaking about it, it's going to give you a good idea on what it's going to take for you to actually make this business even get off the ground. It's going to give you information about all the little pieces that most people are going to save to the end of their program after they've taken thousands of your dollars. Then they're going to say, oh, by the way, you still have to do this, 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 and this to build a business. We're doing that on the front end because it's the most important piece. Okay. Yeah. And I'm seeing you guys light up. I'm loving it. And I will get to it in a minute. I just want to finish this train of thought I'm on here so I don't forget anything. But we feel, and I feel, you know, I wrote every single word of the content. I have created the entire curriculum for the school and this program. And one of the reasons why it's important for you to know that is it because as the years went on and I learned the best way to do this coaching thing and the safest way to do it, I took notes on it. I created content. I wrote books. I created templates and forms and documents. I reached out and asked questions of many attorneys. I've interviewed attorneys to find out, you know, I want to make sure that this is right because before I teach coaches this, I need to know that I feel comfortable with the information that I'm sharing. So that's where this has all come from. And I don't think you should have to wait. I think it's ridiculous that some places out there are telling coaches in 6 months, you get to coach people. Okay. Why? Why are we waiting 6 months? What are they giving you in that 6 months to prepare you for that? I haven't seen anybody actually say, well, I got all the business building stuff so that I could be prepared. They learned about food. They learned about diseases and problems. You can do that by reading Google. Okay. I'm not going to tell you that spinach is good for you or you can make kale chips in the oven with olive oil. I'm not going to tell you that reducing your carbohydrates, give you a lesson on carbohydrates, you know, to help the person with type 2 diabetes. I'm going to tell you how to get started so you feel safe sharing the knowledge that you have. You can learn as you go. all the information you want to know about diseases and problems is out there for you to learn. Okay. So I think that's kind of I don't want to say it's a waste of time. I think there's a place for that education, but I think the first order of business is getting your business set up legally and making sure you feel confident in what you're doing. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? All right. Let me go into the chat real quick. And I did have some questions submitted to me as well on email, and I'm going to answer those as well. All right, so I'm reading family nurse practitioner. Okay, so great. This is a great way to start right here. Bernadette, you're not asking a question, you're sharing information. But here's the thing. I have nurse practitioners, I have naturopaths, I have chiropractors, I have massage therapists as students because of the restrictions that have been placed around these professions and the liability and the inability to be able to say and do what you want to do. So here's something, and I'm going to be training as we go. It's my nature to just share information and train as we go, okay? So Bernadette, here's the thing. If you are moving from a profession like nurse practitioner into a health coaching position, you're going to, the doors are going to be wide open to you. Your business is, you get to build your business how you want to do it. Now, the only thing is this is, you've got probably malpractice insurance wherever you're working, right? So you've got that extra support and that coverage. But when you go into the health coaching world, unless you're working in a practitioner's office and they have you covered and you've got a contract with them where they take care of all that, you have to make sure that you've got insurance. You have to make sure that you've got liability insurance, professional liability insurance, that you are registered with your taxes, and that you have a business license, all of those things. So it sounds great. I want to move from nurse practitioner to being a health coach, would be a natural thing because of all the stuff you have in your head about preventative medicine and all the knowledge you have. But the most important pieces are the foundation you're building that business on. And the foundation must always be making sure you're legal. So what I always advise, Bernadette, when people are moving from nurse practitioner to health coach, first of all, good for you. I think it's a great step. And all the nurse practitioners that I've worked with have been glad that they've made the move because of the freedom, because of the ability to say what you want to say and do what you want to do, with limits, of course. But you have to think about yourself as taking that nurse practitioner hat off and putting the health coach hat on so that you stay in that scope of practice. Okay. All right. Julie says, I'm a health coach looking for a job. I prefer to work in a practice of doctors. And a lot of people feel that way as well. And one of the reasons I think is because it's a comfort thing. You absolutely have people to bounce things off of. There is that liability, that insurance is usually covered, things like that. But on the other hand as well, I just want to make note here that when you move into the practice of working with someone, I did a whole training on this, but when you move into the business of working in someone else's practice, there is going to be a restriction on you probably expressing your creativity and using the knowledge that you have. They are going to put guidelines and boundaries around you. I've seen this happen to a couple of coaches who thought that would be the way they wanted to go. Once they got in, they realized they couldn't actually be their authentic selves and do what they wanted to do because they were given a list of guidelines. All right, this is where you fit into our practice. This is what you can say. This is what you shouldn't say. This is what we will allow you to do. And here's basically your script. So make sure if you are looking at moving into a business with practitioners that it is a very good fit, that you do your homework, that you interview them as much as they interview you. You are a complement to their practice. It is not you going in and taking control of what's happening in their practice. And I think many people that are getting this business need to understand that being an entrepreneur is, yes, it is one of those things. It's hard to even begin the process of building your business if you don't know how. However, the rewards after it's done are absolutely amazing. You can work from your home, pick up your kids from school, work on vacation for a couple hours if you want to remotely. The rewards much outweigh the risk once you get the foundation built, okay? Just like anything else, we want a firm foundation for our business. All right, consider going into this for a career, Jamie. Absolutely. Any question you have, put it in the Q&A and I'll be there in a moment. Sharon says, I'm not a coach yet, but a mental health therapist. Due to busyness, it's difficult to take a new endeavor on and train for it due to clinical obligations. I actually have somebody that pops right into my head, and she is a behavior specialist, and I think she's a clinical psychologist. I can't remember, but she is integrating it slowly. When she gets done with work, she comes home and she works on the business. Not to the detriment of her family, which is, to me, family is always first, you guys. You come first, then your family, then your business, no matter what it is. And that's my true belief, but it absolutely can be done. You can get, 2 steps done in an hour of building your business. You can get 5 things done in a weekend. So it's not impossible just because you have another job. So just want to make sure that you know that. Many people are still in that place. New to health coach. Yes. And health coaching is, it's just, I don't know. It's just booming. It's blowing up. It's becoming more mainstream. Currently not coaching. Okay. RN with lots of experience with nutrition, solving. Okay. So let me say this too. Yeah. Again, another RN. What you know about nutrition and the words that you use as a nutritionist are not going to be the same as what you can do as a health coach. So the things that you say, like, we're going to work on your nutrition first, we're going to prevent disease, we're going to look at your diet. Those are all things that have to be very carefully monitored and filtered working in health coaching. There's a specific amount of things that you can and cannot say and should not say, so that you don't look like you're stepping outside your scope of practice. So just making sure that everybody knows that if you are in existing practice, there's a shift that has to happen. And the habits that how you speak are going to have to change just a little bit. It's not impossible. It's totally doable. And trust me, I can tell you that I've been through all of that stuff. Okay. Graduated from IIN in 2014, interested in the functional medicine component. This is not functional medicine. This is functional health coaching. Functional medicine is a whole different ballgame. There is a functional medicine coaching academy out there. I don't believe, and I think they do an amazing job. Where I come from is I believe that a health coach belongs in the space, in the gaps in between the doctors, the medical professions, the practitioners, and all the people that have licenses and degrees and education that has taken them to the point where they are able to diagnose, say, prevent, provide meal plans, dietitian, nutritionists, and things like that. And yes, I talk fast in case anybody's wondering. We've got a lot of information to cover, but this is functional health coaching. Health coaching fits into this space in those gaps, which means we pick up the pieces that a practitioner can't finish or follow through with because they're restricted on time or they lack the training. So I know a lot of practitioners that are amazing at what they do, but they know very little about the functional living aspect of how we help our clients and support them. How in the world can a doctor possibly sit down and have an educated conversation with someone about what it means to, what it means when melatonin and cortisol are competing and that's why they're not sleeping, or why they shouldn't be running and training for marathons if their thyroid is having problems. Like, these are the pieces that health coaches can come in very nicely and say, I'm going to provide you with information on this. I'm going to help you get educated. And then we're going to see how you can possibly take action on this. But all of that is about coaching. That's not about the business building part, which has to be done. It absolutely has to be done. Okay. All right. Haven't coached yet. Graduated from a health coaching practice. Very interested in how to get the training. Yeah. So if you're interested in functional medicine, I don't teach that. That's not what I do. And I believe that health coaches don't belong in the medicine and the medical area of this. It's just not my belief. And again, it's more than just thinking that we have a big enough job as it is, but it's also a very gray area between how are you going to deliver information? How are you going to write information? How are you going to speak to people without making them think that you have the ability to diagnose them and the ability to prescribe, and that you are the end all be all of decisions, which is how they look at medical doctors and practitioners, right? Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yes. Okay. I'm just kind of reading here, making sure there's no questions. Certified health coach, struggling to obtain clients. Okay. Everyone seems to struggle with that in the very beginning. And let me just say, let's see here. You don't have a website. You're working on social media marketing. Do I think it's crucial to be online? Okay, great. I'm glad I'm looking through this. Absolutely not crucial to be online. In fact, I have coaches that say, no, thank you. I never want to go online. I'd rather be out in the community, face-to-face, working with people and making my money that way. I worked that way for 4 years. I never had a single client online. I never worked online. Again, I didn't even know there was a Facebook groups for health coaches when I was coaching. So all of my work and everything I did was out in my community. And I built it I did a referral-based practice. I didn't use it. I didn't advertise. And it was based solely on word of mouth and testimonials and me finishing with people and saying, what did you get from this? What do you think could have been better? Would you be willing to write a testimonial and refer people to me? And, that's how my group talks came into play. That's how they called them nutrition talks, but I made it very clear that these are not nutrition talks. That's how I got asked to speak. That's how people, I even got invited to speak to doctors about it being inserted into their program in their clinic. And I declined 2. And the other one declined me because he was intimidated by how much I knew about the things outside of medicine, that he felt like it might undermine him. So with that said, referral-based practice building is what I believe to be the best way to build your practice, because you can put 1,000 ads out there, you guys, but there's nothing like a person saying, oh my gosh, there's this girl named Carmen. She goes to my CrossFit gym. And she helped me with my thyroid. I had no idea what tests to run. I've had infertility and miscarriages, and she helped me to be able to get pregnant just through simple changes and getting the right labs done. That doesn't mean I said, you need this lab and this is what's wrong with you. This is me saying, okay, this is what I'm seeing. These are the red flags on your intake form. I think we should consider these labs. I want you to take this to your doctor and have a conversation. Okay. So nothing beats that kind of testimonial. Nothing. No ad flying across someone's face telling you, or telling them how great you are, that you help someone with depression is going to beat somebody actually having a conversation in your community. And yes, online as well. So you got to think about online and the community being very similar to each other. Okay. Just because you're seeing people face-to-face, shaking hands, hugging, and all that in person doesn't mean it's really that much different from being personal like this, doing live Q&As, doing webinars, doing group talks, getting in Facebook Live, interacting like this. It's not that much different. It's just a little bit of a different venue and a different physical space that you're sharing. Okay. So yes, I don't think it's necessary to be online, but I think that there's room for both. It depends on what you really want to do, and you can do both as well. Heather, my journey is much like yours, education, family, and friends, benefiting. Yes. What I need now is to know how to make this a bona fide business. It is overwhelming. It was overwhelming, but this program's going to make it so it's not. I promise. It's everything I learned in a little package just for you guys so that you don't have to do everything I did wrong. All right. So I'm going to come back to chat in a moment. Let me look at the questions. Let's get started on some of this. All right. How do you get started? That's what the business building program is about. It teaches you how to get started. Look at this, do this, avoid this. Don't waste your time on this. Don't waste your money on this. You might need to invest in this. If you want to be online, if you want to be in the community, how do you do a free consultation? Why don't you want to meet them in a coffee shop? Why is it best to get on the phone? That's what the program is about, is how to get started. Can you add health coaching to a therapy private practice? Absolutely, 100%, Sharon. As long as you keep things separated so people know one's a therapy practice and this is where you go for health coaching. I've seen this. Hold on a moment. Okay. So, this is how it would be. The thing you have to remember is just like I said a few minutes ago, like if you're a nurse, if you're a chiropractor, you're a massage therapist, you're a physical therapist. In fact, I worked in a physical therapy office. I was a personal trainer there and I did health coaching there. So yes, I'm intimately knowledgeable about this. Whenever I would do the health coaching piece, I always made sure that my business, that whenever people came to me, it was personal training people and physical therapy people. But when we met for health coaching, different room, different office, different intake forms, different agreements, different process, different suggestions, different language, everything was different. And it wasn't that difficult to integrate into that position. It was just remembering and reminding them, like, I know that you do physical therapy out here, or I know that I'm your personal trainer, but while we're in here, I'm your health coach. And so when they sign those agreements and those disclaimers and things like that, it really lines things up and lets them know you're in here for this particular thing. And I think it's an amazing additive to any practice. I think it's amazing. You just got to know where to draw the line and keep things separate. And if you were to be the health coach in a practice, or if you own the practice and you're bringing a health coach in, that person is separate from the rest of the practice. I mean, they're part of your team, of course, but the way that they practice has to be within scope and within guidelines for sure. All right. My glasses come off and on 1,000 times, you guys. Hi, Carmen. My name is Dina. I started yesterday with the Health Coach Group 26 Health Coach Scholarship Program. I'm not certified. Is anybody, okay, certifications. We should have a talk about that too. All right, so your story is shamanic practitioner, Reiki master, aromatouch certified. Wow, you have a lot of great letters behind your name, right? No idea how to pull it all into make it a business. Well, that is what this business building accelerator program is going to teach you, because it doesn't matter what your certifications are, what your letters are, any of that. I mean, it does matter, and it's admirable. I'm not saying what you've done is not amazing. It is. I wouldn't have the attention span to do everything you've done. Probably not the time either. It's really great, but here you are. This is a great example with all of this training and no idea how to make it into a business. That's what the Business Building Accelerator program is for. It is to show you, here's how you do this. And then how you set that business up is going to be up to you based on what you know. But these are the pieces that most people are missing. Most coaches are missing that are coaching right now. I've got coaches that are coaching right now that don't have things in place and are putting themselves at risk. I see it every day. I look at the boards and I think, oh my gosh, how are you saying that word? You shouldn't be even like giving advice or diagnosing or prescribing supplements. And I mean, it's blowing my mind how many health coaches are doing this in an unsafe way. It is a matter of time before people are starting to get called out. And one of my main goals here also is to make the health coaching business, to disrupt it and make it a safe place for all of us to do what we want to do. And that's to be our authentic selves, help people, make a huge impact, and just start blowing up with referrals and testimonials so that your business can grow. Okay. So that is the goal with all of this, with giving you all of the information that you need. You can have all the letters and all the certifications and everything you want behind your name, but if you don't build that foundation, how are you going to use that? And Deanna, this is a great example. So this is what we're offering today. And I'm going to give you guys a link in a minute and you can take a peek at it. Let me see, I can actually paste it in here. I really want you guys to stick with me here and not go poking around too much on there because I want to make sure we answer questions. Do I recommend liability insurance? If so, how much? Absolutely 100% you need professional liability insurance. How much depends on what you're doing with your business. Do you need an umbrella policy? Do you need less? Do you need more? Are you going to work online? Are you going to be in the community? Are you going into people's homes? Are they coming to yours? Are you doing talks at businesses? Do they have insurance to cover you? I don't know. It really depends. How much you need is going to depend on a lot of different things. So we provide resources to making contacts and making calls and getting that information in the program as well. There's absolutely no way to answer that question with, oh, you need $1 million or $2 million or whatever. It's different for everyone. And it's going to be according to what you're doing with your business, where you're practicing, what services you're offering, and so on. Okay. There are answers for that, but I don't have that answer for anybody. I had to go out and look for it for myself too, but we give you the resources for that. Any feedback or cautions about working in a fitness center? Well, I mean, it depends. Are you a trainer, Cynthia? Have you been invited into a fitness center? Are you going to propose to a fitness center, propose a business plan to a fitness center to get in? Are you going to be contracted? Do you, these are all questions. See, there's no easy answer until you start the business building process. You have to know where you want to put yourself. Where do you want to, and I call it live. Do you want to live on Facebook, social media? Do you want to live on Instagram? Do you want to live out in the community? And when I say live, I mean, where do you want to spend most of your time as a health coach? So the cautions about working in a fitness center, no more than in a physical therapy center or chiropractor center, no more than that. I can tell you that it might be a little bit harder to actually do a functional health coaching approach, meaning we go after all of the 7 essentials that I believe to be true for every person that they need to be healthy. Because you're going to get those people that want the quick fixes. They want the powders and the pills. They want the magic workout that's only, 22 minutes long, and they want you to tell them exactly what to eat. And that's what I see a lot of in fitness centers, YMCAs, CrossFit gyms. Just tell me what to eat, and so I can meet my weight loss goal. No, you can't tell them what to eat. You shouldn't be telling them what to eat. So is a health coach going to be somebody that's going to, thrive in a fitness center? Maybe if it's a more progressive center where they approach stress and they approach fun and they have all of those things in mind. But just for people wanting to lose weight, probably going to get a lot more people that are going to be disappointed that you're going to go about this in a healthy way, looking at hormones, looking at sabotaging spouses, looking at digestion, filling in all those gaps that people have that they don't know they have. And I call them blind spots. People have blind spots, you guys, and we're there to pull them out if we know what we're doing. Along with the business component is the nutrition portion of your 4-week Accelerator program, enough to start soon. There is no nutrition component. First of all, we don't use the word nutrition in any of my programs at all, because if you are, first of all, if you're new to the health coaching profession, nutritionadvocacy.org is one of our resources, and I refer out, everyone should be familiar with them and know where you belong, what color or state you're in. If you're already a health coach and you haven't heard of it, then whatever school you went to failed you miserably because you should have gone there first, nutritionadvocacy.org. And here's the thing, they're going to tell you where your restrictions lie. So along the language side of things, they're going to tell you what you can and cannot say, what you should and should not say. But what I say as a person of experience in this business is act as if you're restricted across the board. Pretend that if you're in a green state, you're in a red state, so that you're always in line. And if the laws change overnight, you're protected and you're safe and you don't have to make any changes. If you want to throw caution to the wind and say, oh, it's freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want, I'm in a green state, diet restrictions, preventative, cure, diagnose, all those words. And then all of a sudden the laws change overnight and you find yourself with all of your word copy and your web design and your print materials and all of that set up for freedom, you're going to have a lot of work and waste a lot of money going backwards. You never know what's happening with our laws, you guys. So I always say, act as if you're in a red state. I've been practicing in a red state for 10 years. And I promise you this, I've never, ever, ever regretted it because I've always known, oh, whew, thank God. I know I didn't say that word. Oh, thank God. I'm not presenting myself as a nutritionist. I'm a health coach. So as far as, let me scroll back up. As far as nutrition is concerned, I'm going to challenge you here. Okay. This is what I was talking about a little while ago when I said you can learn as you go. Do you really want to get into a program? I'm not going to offer you a bunch of information about food. You can learn all of that on Google. I'm not going to charge you, for a program to tell you what you can learn online. I'm going to give you in this program what no one's telling you. That doesn't make sense for me to give you, information about leaky gut and autoimmunity when you can look that stuff up. What we're giving you and what I provided in this program is the stuff that you can't find just by doing a search. It's coming from total experience. You can ask somebody out there, from one of the other schools, and they're going to say, I don't know, get on a call with somebody or something like that. But I'm telling you right now, this is the stuff that every health coach should absolutely have in place. So if you want to learn more about nutrition, you can take precision nutrition classes. You can go to maybe Functional Medicine Coaching Academy does nutrition. I'm not sure. Reputable programs, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. I love the founder of that, Reed Davis. He's amazing. They order labs and do all of that. There are other schools that will fill that need, but I'm not that person, and I'm not providing that information because I think that you can do that on your own if you already haven't. I'm giving you the bare bones of what you need to build a business. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. And these are good questions. You guys have great questions. Okay, Heather, I understand it is a pull-out from your full-scale course. Yes. Do you offer other portions of the course as separate programs or the next level after this being the full course? That's a great question. Okay, so what we've done is we've tiered this, not tiers, tiered this down. And this has been in a process for since we opened the doors to the actual full curriculum, the 18-week program, which has grown exponentially even since 2017 of September when we opened the door. We've been doing surveys at the end, and we've been watching groups, and we've been polling. And what we found is we have several different layers of people out there. We've got the coaches that are like, oh my gosh, I really didn't get what I needed. I don't have this in place. Now I'm worried about this. Or we have people that are like, I don't even know if this is what I want to do. And then we have people who say, I got failed completely across the board from my school. I just want a complete do-over. I want the blueprint. So we have 3 different layers for you guys. This is the first layer. The $997 is the program cost for the business building program. It is the most affordable. It is going to give you everything you need to just get started. And you can start taking clients if you want to. That's up to you. There's no restrictions on that. And if anybody tells you there's not. We're not regulated. You can take clients as soon as you ethically and professionally feel you're able to do that. The next tier up is a different program that gives you even more information. And the last part of the tier of the program is the full-on curriculum. So we've had people call and say, I want to be a health coach. I'm ready. But they're not financially ready. They don't have the investment to make, or maybe their credit scores aren't where they need to be, but they still want to get started. So then they drop down into this program to even get started on the pieces that are important to do. That makes any sense? So we're offering layers of this that we've learned over the years, and we're meeting needs on different levels. So I hope that's helpful, Heather. Let me know if you need any more than that, okay? Yes, I still see clients personally, Linda. I absolutely do. I have put my price range way up there because I'm super picky about who I work with now. After 10 years in this business, I've experienced a lot of burnout. I've experienced a lot of, because one-on-one, and I talk about this too in my trainings, is one-on-ones are emotional burnout. And you can't trade dollars for time and time for dollars. You can't do that. So group coaching is it's a super great way to make a bigger impact and make more money. So that was something that I even moved into. But now my one-on-ones, I'm very selective. I have an application process, or I have my freebies, and I'm always helping people for free. I believe that we should always be able to extend that part of ourselves, that giving part of ourselves. And so I'm very selective about those people too. I treat them exactly as if they're real clients, but I work with them for free, for a testimonial. So that's all they have to pay me is for a testimonial. But otherwise, yes, I'm absolutely working with clients, and probably always will. I mean, I enjoy it, but there are pieces of it I enjoy more than others, right? Okay. How do you explain to people why it's important to hire a health coach? So one of the things I like to tell people is, here's what a health coach can do for you. And I did a whole chart of this. Wish I could find that chart real quick, but it would take me searching, and I don't want to waste time to do that. But I have health coach on one part of the infographic. It might even be in the business building program. If it's not, I see if my team can stick it in there for you. And then on the other side, I have, the doctor. So you're either going to pay the doctor in the long run with labs and tests and visits and time and prescriptions, or you can pay a health coach to help you to not have to do all of those things, right? So I tell them that a health coach actually can step outside of the relationship of a practitioner and a client / patient, right? They're not their patient for us, they're our clients, but they can be a patient for a doctor. And we can see the blind spots and the gaps in the care that they're giving. So I talk about it like a triage of care. So I tell people, yes, absolutely, I want you to work with your doctor. It's very important that people have a practitioner in their pocket for emergencies, for ordering labs if they need to, if they can't get them on their own, which they can. But then I also say the triage of care is that there's you, there's your practitioner, and then there's me. I'm the one that comes in here in the middle, and I help you to see things that maybe they can't see, and to help you find things that they can't find, to support you, maybe even sometimes take the place of your spouse if you don't have someone that's supporting you. A health coach just fills in the gaps. They fill in the holes in the gaps, and we see things that other people cannot. And you know what? It's something that we enjoy and love. So we pour our heart and soul into helping and supporting people. You're not going to get that from a practitioner. Yeah. So using the word preventative, I don't do that. So it'd be nice to be able to say health coach can help you prevent doctor visits or prevent disease or anything like that. But we're not supposed to use that word. I'm trying to move my chair here. Excuse me. But what I do is I tell them, a health coach can actually help you look outside of yourself, to step to the side of yourself and help pull things out that are already inside of you. The knowledge is really inside of these people, right? We want them to use their instincts and intuition. I don't want anybody depending on me on whether or not they eat something or take something. So we need to remind them, we're here to help you pull the knowledge out that's already within you and to complement that with resources and things that make sense to help you get where you're trying to go. That's kind of how I explain it. It's a long way, but you know what? If you're going to get on and do a free consultation or you're going to have a conversation, then you need to be able to have those conversations. Does the program assist in website building and setting up all aspects of the business, billing, email, Facebook marketing, etc.? We don't do it for you, but we give you all the resources on the things that are important to do. We give you referrals on where to look to do specific things like email marketing. And here's the thing, I want to say this too. If you have even been in this business at all for a length of time, I can almost guarantee you have purchased things that have floated across like the shiny object syndrome, where you need this website or buy this, get a full scale website for $3,000. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need all of that. Whereas I'm the person that within this business building program, I say to you, all right, what's your budget? Where are your funds? This is what you actually do need to get online and to have a presence online. And it might be just something as simple as a one home page and information about you with the toolbar on the top and an opt-in. Okay, so we are trying to be good stewards of what you're doing with your money and your time to get this thing going. So yes, we share information about how do you do billing, how do you collect money. We do things, we share information about emailing and marketing and tips on Facebook and things like that. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to set up yourself? How do you get over specific fears and things like that? So yes, all of that is in there. But we're not going to say, use this, do this. We're going to say, pick something that fits what you're trying to do with your business right now that makes financial sense, and something that, things that you need to be delegating out, like website building. I don't believe any health coach, unless you've got a history in website building, should be building websites. It's a terrible use of your time. Terrible. I've watched it over and over again. Health coaches do not need to be building websites. Can you buy done for you websites from people? Yes, absolutely. Can you go to, what is that one, Wix, and build one quickly over the weekend? If you can do that and you're skilled at it, absolutely, if that's how you want to spend your time. But I believe hiring out and delegating out in a way that feels financially responsible for you is a better way to spend your money and your time. Because, time is money. We know that. And I'm not against it if you want to do it, but I just don't think it's a great use of time. Hi, Bobby. Hi. Oh my gosh, there's your sweet girl. Bobby and I got a chance to meet in Nashville, which is so awesome. And it was so strange how we met, wasn't it? Just on the chance. I got off the elevator, she was sitting there, and we met. 2 different cities. It was absolutely crazy. Any advice on creating a corporate wellness program? I'm hoping to use the 7 Essentials as a platform, lunch and learns. It seems overwhelming to get started, but I have an interested small business, so I don't want to screw it up. Oh yeah. I mean, so building a corporate wellness program, and I've actually got my fingers out a little bit. I bring experts in, as you know, to the mentorship group and to the students of the IFHC. And I also stream into the Clarity group with my experts. I've got one out for corporate. I'm still waiting to hear back on some training on how to do this, but it really doesn't have to be complicated. if you want to put together a program for a corporation or, create something that can be, I believe in rinse and repeat programs. You could do a 4-week program where you take those 7 essentials that I teach and you combine them. So the first week might be, for the first Monday of every month, we're going to talk about whole food and how to move away from the standard American diet into a whole food plan. And I said diet because it's attached to standard American diet. I didn't say diet as in regards to a customized plan. You got to be really clear about that. I don't want anybody saying you said the word diet. No, it's attached to a word. This is how careful I am, you guys. And then the next week, maybe you talk about how people need to change their stress perception and have more fun. And then the third week, maybe you talk about how safe movement is so important along with spirituality. But you can combine those 7 essentials and take them and do anywhere from a 60 to a 90-minute course. You hand out your documents for them to take home as your added value. And then you hold support online. You have a group online where anyone in that corporate program can come in throughout the week and get support from you that you can provide from home. I mean, it can be something that simple. I did it for a CrossFit gym. It wasn't a corporate program, but that corporate program could then rinse and you can rinse and repeat that. And then you can do, upper level trainings for people who are like, I went through your entire month and I'm so motivated. I've got an autoimmune condition. Do you offer autoimmune training? Yes. Every, 3rd Tuesday of the month, I teach on autoimmunity. So absolutely, but set these up when you're doing this kind of thing, set it up as rinse and repeat, stamped programs. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just have to show up to new people every time. Yeah. Super easy stuff. Don't forget to get contracts and disclaimers and all that signed too. Okay. All right. And I do recommend going in as a contracted person working in these businesses. What are your thoughts on coaching for free right away, just to get testimonials, get the ball rolling, maybe announce you'll be taking a few people for free? Zach, I love it. I think it's a great idea. And many people will tell you it's a terrible idea, but I also think you don't have to have a niche. And people say that's a terrible idea, but for some reason, everything I did built my business and it worked. So, and I'm in a small town where people eat chitlins and gas station food. So if I can make a business grow here based on testimonials and referrals for an area that's not progressive when it comes to healthcare and all that 10 years ago, you can do it anywhere. So here's what I suggest though. If you are going to do what I call pro bono work or free work, these people need to be brought in on application. Okay. So I would have them fill out an application about why they wanted to get your help. What do they expect to achieve? What's their commitment level? Have them sign client agreements. They should be doing a complete intake with you. As if they're a regular client, there should also be a cancellation policy where if you don't feel like they're doing the work, you have the right to let them go. And if they don't feel like they're getting what they need, they have the right to let you go as well. And I know there's no money exchange. There's a testimonial exchange. You want to make sure that you have that agreement that they're going to provide that for you. But I wouldn't take on more than 2 to get started. 3 if you've got the time. But I can promise you that as you're getting into this profession, you're going to find that people will suck the life out of you if you let them. And until you get a system in place, it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole with people because they start talking about their sicknesses and they start getting attention from you. And the next thing you know, they're like, oh, just one more thing turns into just 10 more things. Okay. So any more questions, keep putting them in the Q&A. And I'm going to go take a look here. Let me go scroll back up here. Okay. I've set up the fundamentals, not getting clients, tried some marketing on Facebook, send out brochures to functional medicine providers, not getting clients. Okay. And I can't see the first name because I'm only getting the first letters of your names here. So LES, maybe Leslie? I don't know. Okay. So here's the thing. So your fundamentals are set up, but you're not getting clients. I did how to get clients online and out in the community. It looks like you tried some marketing on Facebook. If you don't, and let me say this too, if you don't intimately understand Facebook ads and you are not skilled in them, do not waste your time or money on them. Find somebody that is, or do an extensive training on someone who can prove that they've been successful doing them. Because Facebook changes on the daily. And I took several $1,000s of a hit recently on Facebook ads because they changed. Things were rolling right along and then it came to a screeching halt. And we found that there were some algorithms that shifted and changed some of the wording, some things like that. So please, this is just like website building. If you are not a website builder and you don't have the time and you want to get your business off the ground and you are not a Facebook professional expert on this kind of thing, you don't understand it, you guys, you've got to outsource this stuff. And many times this is what I'm running into too, is coaches say, well, I don't have the money for that. I'm just getting started. Well, your time is money. So if you're able to sit at your computer and try to figure something out, then that's an expense that you can budget for. Find someone to come in and do that part so you can do the other pieces that are going to get your building off the ground. I mean, your business off the ground. Okay. So we talk about that. We talk about that in the program as well. I'm just not a fan of spending money and time on things that are not in your wheelhouse. It doesn't make sense. You know what it would be like, you guys? And let me just say this. It would be like if your oil needed to be changed and you've never changed your oil before. And you've got a day full of things that you need to do. And the 10-minute oil change place is just around the corner. Would you sit in your driveway and try to change the oil when you've got so much other things that you need to do that day? Or would you run around the corner, spend 15 minutes, get it changed, pay somebody, whatever, $59 and come home and spend the rest of your day working on things that you want to do? I want you to think about that. It's important to know where your time is valuable, where you want to be spending it. All right. Bonnie, this is what I need. The cost, $9.97. The link is down somewhere. I think it's down. I'm scrolling through the chat. I'm linked with an amazing group that has provided more clients than I can manage individually. Many things I can and can't say, as you have mentioned. Right. Well, that's amazing. That's fantastic. I hope you're doing group programs, because if you can't, if they're giving you more clients than you can manage individually, then you need to set up some group trainings and start putting these people in groups of 5 or less, so they still feel like they're getting that personal attention, but you can make a bigger impact, and then they have the support of each other. More clients than you can manage is also, if you don't want to do a group training thing, find some other health coaches and spread the love. This is not competition. This is collaboration. I don't believe in competing in the health and wellness space for any reason at all. I believe in collaborating. I don't believe I have the answer to everything. You know, if someone was on here right now, I just told you guys, I'm not going to give you nutrition information, but I know people that can help you with that. And if that's the direction you want to go, I'm happy to send you there. Absolutely. There is enough competition in the world, and especially in the wellness space, between people, that if you cannot feel a need, it is, in my opinion, it is ethically our obligation to help find somebody that can help people with whatever area that we cannot. I just think that's the right thing to do. As both an RN and a health coach, why can't I work under both scopes of practice? You absolutely can. Of course you can. But take one hat off when you're working as a nurse and take the other hat off when you're working as a coach. Make sure you're using the right language in one area and you're using the right language in another. If you're an RN and you've been allowed to talk about nutrition and all of that, then do that. But don't say, I'm a health coach, while you're in the RN space and you're wearing the RN hat. When you move over to the health coaching space, if someone says, can you tell me what this rash is on my elbow? Don't go, oh, you've got eczema, okay? You can say something like, you know, I've had some experience with that. I've seen things like that before, but it could be eczema, but I'm not sure. I would recommend going to your dermatologist, but let me get you a link and let me see if this makes sense to you. See the difference there? Nurse can say, oh, that's eczema, and if you stop eating dairy, that might improve. Health coach can say, I've got some experience here. It looks like it could be this. Let me get you some information so you can take that to your doctor and make a decision on what's best for you. Is that kind of clear? It's all about how you deliver. It's all about how you speak. It's all about your language. And it's all about making sure that the client knows that they're accountable for their changes and their action steps and what they decide to do. You're just there to give them that support and information. But this is about the business part. That's what this call is about today, or this webinar is about. It's about making sure that before you say anything to anybody out in the community about health and wellness, that you are protecting yourself, that you are sure this is what you want to do, that you know what it means to be an entrepreneur and build a business. Okay? Because that's what you are first. You're an entrepreneur. Even if you plan to go out and work in a practitioner's office, you know, and you want to go out and do that, you've got to have a business mind to be able to propose that and give your services to somebody else, or propose to someone that you can complement their business. You don't just walk in and go, I'm a health coach and I've got a certification through IIN or wherever. I want to help you. You got to know what you're doing. You got to present yourself as such. And not to mention how many great things you could actually bring into a business to complement them once you've gotten going. You can say, listen, spending an hour with somebody on a health history before you even know if they're willing to look at health coaching doesn't make any sense. But a 15 to 20 minute phone call, that makes sense. Then we can make a determination on whether we're a good fit. And one of the other things I want you guys to remember is not everybody is a good fit for a health coach. Just because they have money in their pocket and they say they're willing to do whatever, it doesn't mean it's a good match. I've had people that I've turned away. I've said, I don't think I'm the health coach for you. I think that we've got a difference of opinion about this particular thing that is insurmountable, or I think that You might be a little bit too married to your beliefs about what clean eating is. And I would love to send you some more information. If you change your mind, I'm here for when that time comes. But we don't just take clients to chase profit. It's not the right way to do it. It's just not. I don't think every single person is a client. I think you interview them on a call and you get into that conversation and you hear about their story and look what they're looking for. And then you both make a decision on that. Okay. Let's see here. Hello, John. Hi, John. I'm a pharmacist with a health coach certification through NSHC. I already have Business Incorporated Integrative Health. I'm certified in MTM. Woo! Medication therapy management, looking to integrate medication counseling and health coaching to help clients need help with the business and website setup. Okay. Again, I'm going to give you all that information about the business and the website and entrepreneurship, but I'm not going to tell you how to set up a website, and I'm not going to encourage you to do that. I think with all of these amazing, qualifications behind your name, John, you've got a business in a box right here. And there is a way, again, so I see words, medication, I see, health RX, I see pharmacist. So you've got some areas there that you're going to have to be really careful when you get into the health coaching position as an entrepreneur, that you are able to use all of that knowledge in a safe delivery way. Yeah. And getting the business built and set up, that's the key to it, is making sure you've got those pieces in place. So yeah, that's what the business building program is about. I've gone to IAN. I'm a plant-based private chef. I wish you could move in with me. I really desire to help more people, but have a challenging time building my health coaching side of my business. Will this be a good fit? I hope so. All I can tell you is that okay, let's back up to the person that said this is, I think it was Heather that said, I pulled this curriculum out of the full course. Yes, I did. I pulled out the pieces of this that people who said, I don't need a full-blown course. I just need the business pieces. That's what this is. My team and I went through, and based on surveys from existing coaches, we picked and chose, is that right? Picked and chose pieces that we felt would be things that people, could insert into their business right away to get started. Even like, just for example, we just talked about the free consultation. Cannot tell you how many people are getting on a phone or getting in a coffee shop or getting on Skype or getting on Zoom, and they're spending an hour or more learning about people before they've signed a contract or a client agreement. First of all, that's risky. Second of all, that's a waste of your time. The third of all, that's risky. So we teach you how to do that, to actually do this particular part of your business. Get off that phone, get your information sent out, and get that client back to you as a client. Okay, a potential client as a client. So, as far as like getting the business side set up, as far as it being a good fit, if you want to build a business around health coaching, it's a good fit. I mean, it is. It's coming straight out of the blueprint for health coaches that we created in our 18-week program. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing that. Absolutely. Yep. So the sales page. Yep. Okay. Codes of intake forms for use. Do I supply copies of intake forms? That's in the next section of the process. Wait a minute. You know what? No, we didn't. We added those in. Dawn, we did add those in, didn't we? I forgot. We went back and forth on that over and over again. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I forgot to even exclamation point that, but we're there now. So, and that's only for this group too. I can't believe that I forgot to say that, because we went back and forth on it so much. We decided to put the intake forms in from front to back for this particular group only. And this is what you get with it. The free consultation, okay, free 15-minute consultation, the first high mileage intake form, which is over 26 pages of information that you gather from your clients before you meet with them, okay, before you meet with them, not during, not after, before, because that saves you so much time. It can save you 75% of your time. The second intake form, which is your follow-up, the third intake form, which is a follow-up to the second month, and the final intake exit session and the testimonials. All of these are templates, every single one of them except the free consultation. The free consultation is a conversation. So there's no need to put your name on anything just to do the conversation. But all of the documents you can put your logo on, you can change it however you want. If you're someone that works as a plant-based health coach, then you can put questions in there and add to the things that we already have added in there about plant-based food questions. If you're someone that wants to focus on hormones, you can add hormone questions in there, but we cover every single piece of the 7 essentials: the whole food, the safe movement, the fun, spirituality, addressing trauma, sleep, and did I say stress perception? Did I say safe movement? Did I say all of that? Anyway, yeah, there's 7 of them. So the intake forms are based around that, and they're focused on a 3-month relationship. So you literally could get your business set up with all of the stuff we're giving you in the business building program. And then if someone came to you the next week and said, I need your help, I want to hire you, you've got your forms all ready to go. Put your logo on it and get started. Yeah, so they're all in there. Absolutely. If interested in learning more about the functional technical components as well as building the business, what do you recommend? The functional technical components? What do you mean? Clarify that for me a little bit. Technical components. I'm not clear. Give me a little bit more information on that. And I think I can't see. It says TAR. I hate the way Zoom cuts off y'all's names. So tell me more about what you're asking there. And please, if you can, please put some questions in the Q&A for me. I don't want to miss anything. Are there states where you cannot even call yourself a health coach? Not that I've found so far, no. So let's touch on that briefly. Regulations around health coaching. There are none really, except by the nutritionadvocacy.org. Advocacy is such a hard word. Nutritionadvocacy.org has restrictions around what health coaches can do, dietitians, nutritionists, but we're not federally regulated. It's not like, this is why you see people that are selling things like It Works and Purium and Juice, whatever, Juice Plus or whatever, calling themselves health coaches with no training at all around the health coaching part or the skill set of health coaching, because they can. Anybody can. And I always say this, and this is my famous analogy, is if you came to my house and you went out in my yard and I showed you how to pick dandelions, I could then give you a certificate for being a certified dandelion picker. Okay. That's how much weight certification of health coaching really holds in the grand scheme of things. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to be certified. So before somebody goes after me and says you shouldn't do that, that's happened to me before. I'm like, it's not that it's not important. It's that it's not necessary. Okay. So that means that, yeah, if you have it behind your name, other health coaches and practitioners and people in the wellness space are gonna be like, oh, they're a certified health coach. But Joe, out in the community, or, Mary is going to be like, I don't even know what that means. So you're a health coach. Tell me what that means. They want to know you can help them. They don't really care about where you went to school to do that. And that's the reality of it. And I don't care. I would go live on this topic with anybody about this topic, because in the years that I've been health coaching, I don't think I've had 5 people say to me, where did you get your education? I really don't think anybody's really come at me and said that. Once they get to know me, once we've had our free consultation, once they've gotten their referral, they're in. It doesn't matter. They just want to know, how can you get me from where I am to where I'm trying to get with the least amount of stress possible, financially, emotionally, and physically. And I do that through the process of building a foundation that makes sense, and then using a system on top of that, which you guys are getting today. That system of intake forms comes with this program. Okay. Can't believe I forgot to tell you guys that at the very beginning. All right. So Dawn says, the infographic you just presented and Pure Gold Resource Guide is here. So, okay, great. So it is there. Awesome. So we have the health coach versus the doctor infographic in there, Dawn. I think we do. If we don't, we're going to put it in there for sure. We'll just add that. Yes. Yay. Okay, great. The intake forms are awesome. I've used them for 9 years. It took me a whole year to figure it out. A whole year of recreating the wheel every single time I got a new client. Oh my gosh, I would retype the questions. And then I figured out, well, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm asking the same questions. And if I have the form in front of me right now, it's my closet's right over here because I'm cleaning out because we're making a move. But I've got all my old client folders and files. Back in the day, I printed it all. I did everything by hand. All of it. I've got all my folders and files. And I pulled one of these forms out, and it was, I think it was 12 pages long when I got started. It's 26, 27 or more pages now is how much I've added on. It took me a year to be able to understand what do I need to know about people? What are the questions that may have the most impact? How can I get the most information before I meet these people so I'm completely confident and prepared? So yes, the intake forms work. I've used them for almost 9 years. It's as simple as this. I get on a call with somebody, free consultation. They say, I think I'm ready to hire you. I say, I'm going to send you my fees and services, which you guys get an example of that and a training on that as well. And I'm going to send you an email with fees and services, and I'm going to send you the first intake form. When you send me the intake form back and you tell me which service you want, we're going to get started. You don't even get started with these people until they sign up and pay, and you get a filled out intake form. That saves you from like wondering and following up. If you filled it out, are you ready? Da, 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 and then asking further questions. When you get that intake form in your hands, you guys, it is like gold, because everything in there it tells you this is worth spending time on. This doesn't mean anything. Oh, I see why this person has this problem. Oh, they say they want to work with working on food, but I can tell that they're eating completely standard American lifestyle. And I don't know that they're ready to go full bore into whole food, but it looks like they would be willing to work on stress. It gives you everything you need. So instead of sitting across from someone in a coffee shop or on a call or on Skype or Zoom going, oh, I see here this. Oh, I see here this. And 2 hours later, you then get to, okay, now let's get to work on what we're going to do. You do all that before you meet them. So all the lack of confidence, all the I don't know enough, what if they ask me the question I don't know about that disease or that problem, that's no longer an issue because you have the information before you meet them. It's freaking, I swear to you, it's genius. And it saved me too. I used to get on the phone and be like, oh my gosh, what if they ask me this? Oh my gosh, what if they talk about that? And then once I got those forms done, I mailed them back. Okay, I got your intake form and I got your payment. I'm going to take about 48 hours to review this, and then I'll get back to you and we'll set up a time and we'll go over the intake form together and we'll get started on your plan. I never lost sleep again after that because I was always prepared, always prepared. Okay. And I see questions and I'll get to them in just a moment. Yeah, there is a limited time in this program. When this period of time is over, what's the date, Dawn? The end date, is it Friday? Anyway, the end date on this, I don't want to pull the link up. Yeah, Friday. It expires Friday. So the business building program with the intake forms goes away on Friday. We're pulling the intake forms out. We're putting them into the upper leveled next step program because that's how high mileage they are. I argued about putting them in there. We went back and forth. I'm like, those documents alone are almost, they're worth over $400, period, without even any training or anything. But we plugged them in because I lost. So everybody's getting them that purchases today. And trust me when I say when you get them, it's going to be worth it. So do you think with the transition, the question here, I think her name is Leslie maybe, of the International Consortium for Health and Wellness, becoming the National Board for Health and Wellness, that we will see legal changes ultimately around health coaching and board certification? It's possible. They've been working on this for a few years. Actually, the International Consortium for Health and Wellness Coaching used to be the national, I think it was National Consortium for Health and Wellness. I actually called them. This has been over 3 years ago, I think. I was still living in my other house. I believe it was 3 years or more. And I brought Leanne, I think her name was Leanne at the time, was the head of this thing. And I brought her into a call. And we had, it wasn't a webinar because I don't think they have the ability to do that at the time. So I had them on for a call to answer all health coaches' questions. So yeah, it's somebody that they've been around for a while. I think they're going to have the power to make some changes in the future. But I also don't want anybody to think that that's how, you don't need to build your business around the idea that you have to do that right now, because changes are slow to happen and they're slow to come. But at least, even if it changes where you're required to be board certified, at least you've already got your business started and you've got the business building foundations in place. That's what you need. That's what you want to be concerned about, is doing this the right way and having a firm foundation. If we join the program, we want to get the full certification. How long do we have to do that? Yeah, thank you, Don. 6 months, 6 months access to this particular program. And then after that, you can up level. And then of course, anything that you've spent money on, it gets taken over into the next program. So we're not just taking. So if you decide to keep going into the full level program, there is a tiered way to do that. Linda, I own a health food store for 30 years and sold supplements. As a health coach, it's not a good idea for me to sell supplements without making recommendations, ? I have them visibly available on my shelves in my office. Okay. So you're asking me, I thought you were making a statement. You're asking, is it a good idea to sell supplements without making recommendations? So if you have a license, from what I understand, you have to have a license or you have to be part of a program. So, and I'm just guessing here, what is that company? Like Sunshine Company, or there's a couple other ones out there. If you are signed up with them to sell supplements, then it's legal for you to do so. However, as a health coach, when you're let's just take this through the steps for a minute here. And let's pretend you've got a client that comes in, and let's say they've got estrogen dominance, okay? And you've figured that out by doing a thorough intake. They've gotten a Dutch test done. Their doctor said you have too much estrogen, and you have DIM on yourself, DIM, right? That's been known to pull out the bad estrogens, or the excess estrogen. What you could do is you deliver the information in this way. So we've explored your intake form and we pulled out a couple of red flags here. And according to your doctor, you're estrogen dominant, and you've stated that you feel that that's true. I do have a product that I recommend many times for people who have this issue. Here's some information on why I think it would be helpful. Let me know if you're interested in purchasing. So you're not saying, you need this, take this, here you go. You're saying, this is why I think it would be helpful. That person then says, well, if you say so, then you say, well, I'd really like you to make that decision on your own. They make that decision by purchasing. You're not sticking the pill down their throat. You're not prescribing it. You're not diagnosing it. You're not giving it to them. You're not making them take it. You're simply saying, this has been my experience. This is what I have to offer. Let me know if you're interested. They hand you money. Obviously, they're interested. You hand it to them. They take it on their own. Does that help, Linda? Okay. And good for you for having a health food store for 30 years. That's awesome. Okay. You had the business forms bundle on sale in December and I purchased it. Are those? Yes. Same intake forms, Deanna. Absolutely. But all the other business pieces go around it and complement it. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I'm getting this wrong. I already answered that. Answer live. Done. Okay. Let's see. Kim. Hi, Kim. Hi. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for the plug there. The program, the system, the mentorship is everything you need to build your business. Thank you so much for that, Kim. And you know what? You're a shining example that I can use to say that the only way that this is going to work for you guys is if you use it and you apply it and you you push yourself into it and you do the work. And Kim, I have to say, I remember when she first became a student and I thought, and she, not that she didn't have confidence, but she seemed a little bit quieter. Now she's everywhere. She's freaking blowing up everywhere and she's getting it done. And I could not be more proud to see where she was and where she is today because she took the tools that were given to her. She filled her toolbox and she did it. I mean, and I didn't ask her to be on here and say that today. I don't believe in that. She's here because she believes in it and I appreciate that. I think support is the way to make this business go. I think making sure you have all of your things in place, your business, your scope of practice, your risk is lowered, and you have a system. There's no way you can really fail unless you choose to, okay? Do you have a recommendation? Whoa, questions shift when people plug in. Do you give recommendations for companies to use on how and where to store clients' files online instead of in my house in the closet? Yeah, exactly, right? Because times have changed. I don't use the closet anymore. Yes, absolutely. I do have recommendations, and I also have codes and links within the documents for you to link out and what companies to use for those types of things, for sure. HIPAA compliant and everything. Hi, I fully appreciate how important the business side of health coaching is and excited to learn more. I've already received one health coaching cert. I'm still lacking confidence on the how-to for coaching from session to session. I'm giving that to you. For example, what's my focus each time that I meet with my clients? Will you cover some of these in your Accelerator program? Yes, yes. Okay, so you're getting the intake forms, which gives you everything you need to cover. You then go through the intake forms, you pull out the pieces that make sense and what that person is looking to achieve. And then the next intake session guides you through that as well. So as an example, Sarah, if you take a client in and they've got all these things kind of going on and you start working and sharing recommendations, getting them educated on why these things are important. Education is the key to the first step, by the way. And then the next time you meet, your follow-up questions on the forms are things like, what do you feel is easiest? What changes have you made? Or what do you feel is easiest right now? What's the most difficult? What do you need more support on? The intake forms guide the session, okay? And the client answers guide the session. You're there to pull the information out. You're there to provide recommendations and support. It's a blueprint. It's a 360 type of program in the full curriculum, but this right here gives you those steps to work with clients. It's really, people, it's not as hard as people make it to be. Health coaching is really easy. What gets hard is when people try to pull in all the pieces we shouldn't be doing into it. Then they overwhelm themselves and get confused. So are you sending a recording of this Q&A? I barely got on due to schedule. Yes, April, we will send a recording of it. Absolutely. And if you have any questions at all, you can let me know by sending an email as well. Hold on a moment. And I will, hold on a second. Let me look. Looking to make sure. Okay, and Dawn's answered those things. Okay, how long is the webinar? Yep, okay. I mean, it's as long as you guys have questions and you don't have any more questions, then we're done. But let me just put the exclamation point on this. I want to make sure that you guys are aware that as a company and as a business, it's not just me. Like, I might have written every single word of the curriculum, but my team and when we get together, it is to see where are the holes and the gaps in the coaching profession. What are coaches being failed on today? Why are people getting 5 and 6 certifications and then still coming to us asking for help? That, to me, that blows my mind. That's what the 18-week curriculum is, our certification process is about, certificate of completion is that you don't have to go out and look again for anything else. But what we found most of all is that some people that even get into this, they get overwhelmed right from the get-go because they never realize these business pieces are so important. And then the overwhelm makes them fearful. And then the fear stops them in the tracks. And then the analysis paralysis starts. And then it's like, should I do this part first? Is this more important? Oh my gosh, what if I get caught for this? So that's what we're trying to avoid, because the goal here is to get health coaches health coaching, right? It's not to hold you up and make you wait 6 months or a year and then give you the business stuff. It's to give you the business stuff first. That should absolutely be the first order of business, because you don't have a coaching practice until you set your business up the way it should be set up. Does that make sense? All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to know about? Any other questions? It doesn't have to be about business, anything at all about health coaching. So, I want to say that the more people that are doing this in a responsible and professional way, that understand where they belong in this business, the better health coaching as a profession is going to look across the board as we start even growing more mainstream. That is absolutely the truth of it. But people that are doing this in an irresponsible way, that are out there using words they shouldn't, that are providing meal plans, people are getting sick, or their autoimmune is getting worse because someone doesn't understand, TH1 or TH2 dominance or whatever. They're out there just using a simple, $99 course that they learned about the thyroid. And then they're out there telling people what to do. That's what's going to start shifting things the other direction for coaches. We've got to be responsible in how we do this. Cindy, are the tiers broken down on the site as well as the cost? No, we're still building the second tier. We're still plugging some things in there, and we're tweaking it and making it, making sure that we've got everything in there that we want in there. So, so when it's up, what we'll probably do is do another kind of a little launch Q&A like this so questions can get answered about that second part. And if you're on this, we'll make sure that you are a part of that email that goes out for informative purposes for sure. Okay, yep. Let me tell you what's in the program. And I provided the link also, April, so you can see what's in the program, but I will cover it verbally right here. I've got the outline pulled up. All right, so you are going to get the foundations, the 7 essentials for optimal health and why they're most important, and how you can help anybody with any problem as long as you use these 7 foundations, how you can actually have a successful health coaching business today, the top mistakes, the 10 mistakes that coaches are making when building their business that I made and that you shouldn't make. Our Kickstart guide, I don't even know how many pages that thing is. It's got all your steps in it about taxes and licenses and what to waste time on. A getting started video, fees and service example. So I talked to you about fees and services and demographics and timing and tips of how to give that information, payment options, how to get your next 2 to 3 clients video training, the free consultation session example, mastering the free consultation training, marketing do's and don'ts, marketing basics, bonus resources, what a health coach can do for you, right? What to expect from working with a health coach, doctor versus health coach, let's see here, hold on. The intake tool forms. So I've already given you guys that. So what to expect is very important. I teach you guys how important it is to tell people what to expect from working with you. That's a freaking key right there, because if somebody reads that what to expect and they're not willing to make a commitment to themselves, and you are filtering out those people that will waste your time. Initial intake, second intake, third intake, final session, testimonial request. A step-by-step guide on using the 52-page whole food guide, which is customizable for you guys to use. 52 pages on the whole food guide. Change anything you want in there. It is a foundation based on whole foods with education on gluten and soy and stress and all of that stuff. And then let's see here. I think that's it. Let me see, Dawn. Am I getting everything right here? Your first health coaching client introduction. So there's an introduction video on there talking about the next steps in the program. So the education, preparation, and action process, and then the pure gold resources, which is, I think we're up to over 260 resources for you guys to grab and go with your clients as well. So you don't have to wonder or look or research. So that's all of the stuff that's included in this. And as a reminder, the intake forms are only for this particular time frame. They go away on Friday. Okay. And yes, the materials are downloadable. The platform is in Thinkific. So let me see if I can pull that up and just kind of show you guys where that is and what that looks like. Briefly, I will scroll through. Hold, please. Share my screen. I want to make sure I don't have anything personal pulled up before I do that. Okay, so it will be in a platform very simple like this. Very user-friendly. It's in Thinkific. And you're going to go through each step of this, and it's got, and you're in the background right now. You're in the back part of it. So it's looking at it kind of as an admin, because we're probably just firming things up right now. Finalized. Yep. Looks like everything's finalized. Plugging in. So you've got videos, you've got sessions examples, you've got PDFs, downloadable PDFs. So if it is, then we've got bonus resources. So if you, and it just goes on and on down to the bottom. If it is downloadable as a PDF, you can download. If it's a video, I don't believe we make our videos downloadable, because most of those are trainings and we don't want those things being spread around or shared. So that's my guess. I would have to make sure and look it up. But yes, the intro to education, preparation, and action. So the intake forms, and I explain about what that actually is. That is the process, but you're not going to be ready to use education, preparation, and action as a process until your business pieces are in place. So as I talked about, the foundation is the business building process that's in this program. Education, preparation, action is my signature process and system that goes into place after you get the business built. It doesn't make sense to try to do that process unless you have those pieces in place. Yeah, so education, preparation, and action. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the student view right now because it's the same type of thing. It's okay. All right. Anything else? Any other questions you guys have to ask? Anything at all? Let me say this too. If you're not in the Clarity group, please go to Carmen Hunter Health, Carmen Hunter Health Coach in the Clarity group. Or what is it called on Carmen Hunter Health Coach Clarity? I can't remember. It's changed twice. But anyway, if you want to grab the link, Dawn, and throw it in here, that would be fantastic. And let me see there. Let me keep scrolling down. It looks like things have moved here. Yeah, Health Coach Clarity with Carmen Hunter. I have several groups I run. I've got the student page, I've got the mentorship page, I've got this page, and I've got 2 other groups as well. And another thing I want to share with you guys as well is that, Facebook isn't the only place to be with health coaching. There's so much growth going around Instagram, and so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Click that link and join the free group, you guys. And so many other places that health coaches are showing up. And it's not just online. You can build that amazingly successful business out in your community. It is possible to do it in either location, but you got to have things in place first. I want you to be legal, protected, low risk, understand where you belong when it comes to the wellness space, so that you can have a business that's sustainable and grows as you go. So even if you move from one state to the next, if you set it up the right way, you take it with you. The only things you really got to focus on are different business licenses and making those small changes. Everything else, all your written materials, everything can stay the same as long as you do it right the first time. Okay. Yeah. There are groups on Facebook. The only one that's free right now is the Health Coach Clarity group that Dawn has shared. The other ones are private groups where I do my mentoring and things like that for the larger programs. The cost is $9.97 April. And let's plug the link one more time in there. I'm going to put it into, the business building program right there. So click on that, give you lots of information. There's a video of me. And let me just say this, the video on the sales page is me literally sitting back, and you're welcome, Sarah and April, yes. Having a conversation, just basically talking. I'm not reading a script. I'm just telling you a little bit more about the program, a little bit more about what to expect. So please watch the video. It's, my dog is in the background. And it's another joy of working at home, is that we get to do all of these great things around our lives. And I think everybody, when you're building your business, the first thing I want you to think about is, don't build your business around what you think people want your business to be. Build your business about what you want it to be. And the people that want to work with you based on what you're able to offer are going to show up in your space. Okay. So what I mean by that is, just because there's trends out there saying that you should be online doing this, and lots of coaches feel pressure from the ads and pressure and told that they should be doing one thing and not the other. You need to listen to yourself first, because if you went out and thought building a business online is the way to do it and the only way to be successful, but everything in you screams, hell no, I don't want to be online. I hate it. I want to be out in the community. You're not going to be successful online. You're going to be successful where you want to be. I promise you, that is the way. It's just like following your passion. I used to be married to somebody who used to say, oh, it's great to have a passion for health, but how are you going to make a living at it? You got to make money first and then do your fun stuff later. Well, that's not true. I believe that when you put your heart and soul into something, you're passionate about it, and you do it with an ethical, approach, and you're authentically who you are in your business, then the people that are looking for you are going to come to you. So build your business on how you want your business to be for your life. And then people are going to come to you I promise they will. And then you're going to be able to have that successful practice that goes anywhere you go. Don't change yourself because of the trends that are out there. Don't spend your money on the shiny objects that are coming your way because you think that's the way it's supposed to be done. I even encourage you today, when you go to the sales page, I want you to play the video, read the sales page, sit back for a minute, feel how you feel about it, feel how you know, what it feels like in your body to think that this could be something that could really get you where you want to be, then make your decision. Okay? A lot of our decisions that are the wrong decisions are based on what we think other people tell us we should be doing or what we think the trend is. It's never the right answer. If you're not following your passion in this business because it's what you want to do, because you think it's what other people think you should do, you're not going to make it happen. Make it happen because it's what you want to do. You want to help people. You got a lot of knowledge. You got a journey. You have a story. You can build a successful business in this profession. I promise you can do it. All right. Thanks, Carmen. Looking forward to get started with great information. Preach. Yay. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Yes. And you know what? Your clients are students for you too. Think of yourselves as teachers and educators in this business. Coaching is a great word, and it is what defines us. We are coaching people. But on the other side of it, once you get going in these relationships, what you're really doing is you're educating people. You're teaching them. You're giving them sustainable things to do with their lives for the rest of their lives. So think about those people as your students, as your audience. You know, when you have got everything in place, they will come to you. When they're ready, they're going to come to you. Okay. All right. Thanks for staying on. This has been fun. I love this stuff. This is my favorite thing to do. In the Health Coach Clarity group, it's a heads up. If you have any needs, put them in there and tag me. I'll happily hop in and do some training based on your needs or whatever. If you need to get to know, like, and trust me more, go out there, watch videos, listen to things that we've said. That's what we're here to do. We're here to supply you with needs and to fill the gaps that you've got in your training and to help you decide if this is the business you want to build in and be in. Build and be in. So, and thank you, Dawn, for your support. I have the best team members ever. We're here to meet your needs. And, you know, our motto for the Institute for Functional Health Coaching is no question goes unanswered and no need goes unmet. But it's turning into the motto for our business, because we don't want you floating around there feeling like you're not getting your needs met. There's enough of that already, in my opinion. Health coaches are already floating around not getting their needs met. We're here to help you do that. So reach out to us. We're here when you're ready. Okay. Thanks again, everybody. And make sure you go to the link, grab the link, and hope to see many of you in the Business Building Accelerator program. See you later.